father had become one of the most famous men in the world. But to me, he was just Charlie, my father.
My name is Carmen Chaplin. I'm Charlie Chaplin's granddaughter. I started working as an actress when I was 18, 17. In my 30s, I started writing scripts because I wasn't very satisfied with my acting career. But then I realized that I wanted to direct as well. Actually, my husband encouraged me to make a short film. And I ended up making my first feature as a documentary. Charlie Chaplin's Spirit of the Tramp is a film about my father reconnecting with his own father, Charlie Chaplin, through their shared love of the gypsy music and their gypsiness.
I feel that because I'm part gypsy and I have an instinct.
It's also exploring Charlie Chaplin's gypsy roots and seeing how it influenced him as an artist and how it influenced his character of the tramp. I was very little when my grandfather died. As a grandfather, I didn't know him much. I know him through my father, really. My impression of him as an artist is that he was a genius, he was a pioneer in the film world, that his movies really stand the test of time. City Lights is definitely one of my favorite films. Every time I see it, I cry at the ending. I love the comedy in it. The boxing scene is iconic. And then A King in New York is one of my favorites because my father, who was a young boy in it, co-stars with Charlie, and seeing them both on stage together and in a film is quite magical. I think it's his perspective on humanity and the fact that he was talking about something that he had lived. So he grew up in incredible poverty in a place where there wasn't much hope, but he always had a great imagination and amazing resilience, and so that went in his character of the tramp. So when you watch his films, you can relate to that struggle. And also his slapstick comedy was very basic but also very elegant. The mixture of sadness and laughter is kind of something that could never grow out of fashion, because those are human emotions that are essential. As a filmmaker, to have him as my grandfather, I was very intimidated for a long time to even think of the concept of directing. I thought, how can I compare with him? But as I got older, I think you have more courage, or you feel like you have less time to waste. So what you really want to do, you have to go for it. And that's why I started directing. And I also have less illusions of needing to measure up to him. I think I can be inspired by him and enjoy being his granddaughter. I found it very moving that Mei Wei, who is Mei Lang Fang's great-grandchild, and I'm Charlie Chaplin's granddaughter, met about almost 100 years, not quite, after they had met. It's interesting to think that Charlie was here in China and that he got to enjoy the opera and he was a fan. I've never seen the Peking opera because I've only been here 3 days. Every time I come, it's for work. So there's always a bit of a frustration of not being able to see that much of the culture. My impression of this country is the culture is very deep and that there's many layers to it, and that I would have to stay here at least 2 weeks, let's say minimum, to get a sense of it, because it's so different from European culture. We went to the Forbidden City, and that was awe-inspiring. Just seeing the Tiananmen Square and all the different layers. So there's so much to explore, and I've only scratched the surface. My next feature, which is a fiction that I've written, a big part of the film is a young Chinese actress. So I hope to cast a young Chinese actress. I've never worked with Chinese filmmakers, but one of my all-time favorite films is In the Mood for Love. And I love Farewell, My Concubine. So we watched the film with my daughter, and You Only Live Once. And we watched it on the plane, and there was no subtitles. We didn't understand the language, but the comedy that was in the film still made us laugh. I grew up with my brothers watching all of Bruce Lee's films, like repeatedly every day, the same films, and Jackie Chan as well. Jackie Chan is just amazing in he's a bit like Charlie. His physicality, his use of his body is like a ballet dancer. And I find that all his stunts incredible with the added element of humor. So he has a lot of Charlie's talent. And then Bruce Lee was just so beautiful. and also amazing martial artist. And you could just feel the nobility of his spirit in his films. Even though they were action films, yeah, you felt something very noble. And that is, I think, in Chinese spirit. For me, as a film director, I always think of when I go into a culture like this, if I was to make a film here, it would really be about a foreigner trying to integrate the culture, because there's always an element of comedy when two cultures meet. And I always find the misunderstandings quite funny, but at the root we're all very similar. But I love that, the cultural differences.